It's time for another episode of All Right Bet. All right, Andy, it's time for another episode of All Right Bet. We got to get these people out some picks this week. We got to get some money going this weekend. Last weekend, listen, not bad, but not the kind you walk away from feeling like you just walked out of the bank. I'll tell you that.
Right. Well, I remember I did say last week I was sick. So I like to think that illness got into my brain and didn't help me out a lot.
Yeah, you did. Luckily, did okay on a couple of parlays, so I didn't get murdered by any means, but not happy. I thought I was feeling good last weekend on some picks. That just didn't come to fruition, but some of them did. And let's get to that because we did hand out plenty of winners. So there's the music. Let's go here. Hey, in the college games last week, we gave you Oregon minus the 13.5. Andy told you Minnesota was going to cover on Illinois. They fumbled it away at the end of the game. Bam, Minnesota gets it. We gave you Vandy. We told you to take Vandy on the money line over Auburn. That happened. If you took the 6.5, you still hit. Indiana laying the 8 to Michigan State. That hits. Andy told you UCLA over Nebraska. Watch out. Bam, he nailed that one. That one comes in. Dog on the money line. Our 3-team dogs, we gave you Vandy, and Andy gave you UCLA, and we both gave you South Carolina. Take South Carolina at money line. Those 3 dogs came in, so that's good money there. On the teasers, man, we laid out a bunch of teasers, and we gave you, hey, Penn State plus the 10.5, Oregon minus the 7, Illinois plus the 10, UGA minus 10, Indiana minus 1. Easy money. Those are easy money. And before we got out of town, Andy laid 3 on you guys that hit. He told you to take Penn State and Ohio State under. That hits. The A&M South Carolina over. That hits. And then he told you to take Washington plus the 3, and Washington wins the game outright. So there we go, guys. Plenty of winners handed out. You just needed to put them together in the right way. You know?
Right. That's kind of like what gambling is. Just get it in the right order.
Yeah, that's the trick, isn't it? That's the trick.
Put the teams that lose together, and then put the teams that win together. You're fine.
Right. You know what I mean? Now, I will tell you, there was a couple of games I felt good about that I ate it pretty hard on. One of them being Navy and Rice. Not good. Not
but
good.
I think
on
I was
that
on
one.
Rice. I was on Rice.
You were on Rice because of the coaching change. That game got delayed like 17 hours. I think they played 3 days later, and it just did not go well in that one at all. Sometimes you got to eat it on that one. And Clemson, Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you were at on that one.
I think for this program on Wednesday, I think I was on Clemson. But I got to say, by the time tip-off had come, I had jumped all the way over to Louisville.
Yeah, it seems Clemson's a fraud.
Yeah, well, I maybe I said this. I don't remember, but Clemson's only played 2 teams. They're 2 good teams. One was Georgia, and they got absolutely, boat raced. And the other was Louisville, and in between is all the bad teams. And they spanked all the bad teams, but any decent team sticks it to Clemson.
Yeah, and they did. And that's where we landed on the college games and in the NFL. Cue it up. Here we go. Hey, we gave you Lions 2.5. I told you they were going to win by 100. They almost did in the rain. We gave you DC, the Commanders minus 2.5 to the Giants. Atlanta minus 2.5 to Dallas. We were huge on that one. That comes in. Vikes minus 6 to the Colts comes in. Now that teaser we handed out, Andy, that was like 14 damn teams. I think like 12 of them or 8 of them came in. Anyway, we gave you Texans plus 9, Bills even, Ravens minus 2, Patriots plus 10, Eagles even, Vikes even. I mean, you got da-da-da-da-da. There's a few more. We gave you a bunch of those.
Yeah, and the main one that really interrupted that whole thing is if you had the Saints. That's the one that, that's interrupted all the if you somehow avoided it, you won every teaser, ultimately.
Yeah. Yep,
even
I did not avoid that.
I mean, most people wouldn't. So
yeah.
The one game I was wrong on in that was I was kind of big on the Packers. And I will say, I have to say this about Love and the Packers. I kind of thought Love looked like the moment was a little big for him, to be honest. The thing I was thinking about that game, and the Lions were fine. I thought the Packers were real bad, personally. But is that, the thing about Love is he's only in his second year. Right.
Mhm.
Everybody, myself included, has like anointed him as like one of the next great quarterbacks, and I think he will be. But you have to remember, it is year 2 for him, right? And he missed some games, and he's hurt, and look,
Sure.
that was I was
Yeah.
just, I think I was on the right side with the number, just the wrong team, right? Like you just, that Lions team is going to kind of get the treatment, I think, for the rest of the year, where I tend to go against them, mainly because the numbers that they're going to go on, when they're playing a team, they're going to be kind of a heavy favorite pretty much from here on out. And
They're not this week, though, oddly. I thought this was gonna be like a 6-point spread the way they've been playing against Houston, and they got the thing at 3.5. I mean, you can buy a point and get the
I
Lions
think it's
under
up
a
to
field goal.
4.5 now.
Is
I
it?
think it's I think, but it's like that's one of those games where like, look, I'm gonna go against the Lions again, and it's the same thing I do with like the Chiefs. Ultimately, like
Yeah.
I'm against the Chiefs almost every week. It's not that I don't think they're gonna win. I just think the number's too big, right? Like
The
the
Chiefs
Chiefs
numbers have
Bucks,
been huge. They have been
yeah,
huge,
and
like
then
8
Lions are
and
there.
9.
Lions are right on the doorstep of that sort of thing. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
just think
when
the
that
rest of the
starts
year,
happening.
you can expect me to go against the Lions. That's just the way it's gonna be.
Well, keep an eye on those numbers. Don't get to chasing the day yet. That's that gambling thing where you're going to chase the day they're going to get caught. And right now, Vegas don't seem to be giving them that respect yet. So I'm going to try to get one more cash in this weekend, I think, when we get to NFL talk for sure. I mean, that's the way that's going to go. But Lions, they're playing good football right now and they're killing them. But you're right about Love. I did feel a little bit like it's one of those things when like two superstars come out and he's the home team and he's got the Lambeau lure and we don't usually play
Right.
well up there. And then Goff comes out the 2 first series and he's just bombing triples on your head. And you're like, oh, this guy's killing me today.
And I didn't think that about Goff. I thought the moment wasn't too big for Goff. I thought Goff
No, he
looked good.
played amazing.
I thought he was good. I just thought it was a little, Love needs a little more work. That's all I thought.
Sure, and he's
A little more.
banged up and stuff,
Yeah.
but I know you remember though, on this very show in his draft class, he was one of the guys I was big on, man.
Mhm.
I watched him play a lot in college because he played at one of the group of 5 schools, which I watched him pound the chips in a bowl game and stuff. I'm like, this kid's legit. He's the real deal, man. I think he's a
Right.
good quarterback. I
Good
don't
quarterback.
like that
It's
he's in
just
the
a
division.
couple years. That
Yeah,
turnover against the Lions when it was like 10-3 and at the end of the second quarter, that was just an
bad.
absolute backbreaker.
You
That
can't
was
do
like,
that on a sunny day,
nope,
let alone
you
a rainy day.
can't do that. No, exactly. It was absolutely over at that
No,
point.
no. Well, let's jump into some NCAA games, man. I'm sure you got some games that you really like this week. I'm going to jump on one that's Friday night, and I'm going to go against your Bruins. Listen, I'm going to take the Hawkeyes on the road at the Rose Bowl, laying the 5 points. I think it maybe is at 5.5 now. Is moving. It went up and down twice today, but it's at 5 right now. I think I'm going to
It's at
take Iowa.
it's at 6 now. It's moved up.
It's
It's moved
moved
up a
back
point.
up to 6
But
now.
I'm
So
I'm
see
with you.
people
I'm
jumping
on
on
Iowa
Iowa.
too. I'm on Iowa. You got to get it before it hits a touchdown if you want it.
Yeah, yeah, hit that thing before it gets the touchdown. And just my reasoning there, I don't think UCLA is that great. They're not. Iowa is good, and there's something about going to play at the Rose Bowl for a Big Ten team. They're going to be geared up for that. So, give me
Yeah,
Iowa
I'm
laying
with
the
you on
5.
that one. I just think Iowa's a little better than people think. You know, I think UCLA is as good as like the Rutgers, Nebraska, Maryland's of the world. I
Right,
just think
right.
Iowa's a step above.
Yeah, fair enough, man. We're both going to be on that. Here's a game that makes me nervous because I'm waiting for them to get caught because they haven't played anybody yet. But I'm going to take Miami laying the 11 at Georgia Tech.
Hmm.
They just scored too many points for Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech little banged up. I know that's a lot of points. I'll be playing at a teaser for sure, but I will have that game on at least one parlay. I like Miami to cover the 11.
Okay, I mean it's gonna be. I think this Miami team's not very good. They're gonna
Yeah,
go all season without playing a ranked team. So
as soon as they run into a defense, they're going to be in trouble, but that ain't this week. Georgia
yeah, they're
Tech ain't
just
that good.
I think they just kind of play to their competition a little bit. But the good thing about Miami is like they can cover quickly. So it can be,
Yeah,
going into the fourth quarter, it's a 7-point game for Miami. Then they're going to win by like 24. You're
yeah,
like, what?
that's
What
I'm
happened?
telling you, that's how I made a good little chunk back this weekend was as soon as they went down by like, I think they were down like 14 or 17. I jumped right on a money line and that came in. They came back and won the game,
I'm gonna
you
give you
know.
a Thursday game I like. By the way, I don't want to slip through the cracks.
Let's
which
hit it.
is give me App State -1 over Coastal. I just think
Okay.
I think App State on the road. I just think they're a little better. I just don't trust Coastal. So I'd be on App State -1 to be on the App State money line. I just think it's a
Sure.
nice play.
Pick them. Yeah, it's a
It's
pick 'em. Good little play there. Throw it on something. Here's another big number that I'm going to play this weekend, Andy. I am going to take Florida and the 21.5 at Texas. Florida, not very good this year, but listen, they're not as bad as we all thought. They've been playing some really good teams. They've got a tough schedule. They played Georgia tough. They just couldn't last as long, right?
right.
Against Texas this week, give me 21 in the hook.
I'm with you. I'm on 21.5. The thing about that Georgia Florida game last week, game was going to be like a 7-point game, except then there was that punt. I think they got away from Florida.
Yeah, right.
That's the kind of mistakes. If Florida makes those kind of mistakes, then the game's over, right? So I also think Texas is going to win. I think Texas is setting it up to do just enough to get to that Texas A&M game, which we've been talking about for a while here, which is going to be a playoff game. And winner, Texas A&M is going to have to win that game to get in the playoffs. Texas could survive a loss, but probably doesn't want to put itself in that position. So this is the just enough to win game, and I like Florida as well.
Yeah, I'll be teasing this thing as well. Speaking of playoff game this weekend, LSU, Alabama. I mean, LSU is the home dog getting 3 points against Bama.
Right.
I'm on LSU here, man. Give me the home team on with their back against the wall, playoff hopes, and a field goal. Yeah.
Well, sure, but are you going to wait till the Big Six picks?
Oh man, is that one of ours? Dang, I'm looking at my list. It sure is. It sure is.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. I'm up in the air on that one. We'll see over
Yeah.
on the Big Six picks.
I'm also up in the air, but I do like the side you're on. I will tell you that. I am
Yeah.
also up in the air. But
We'll follow that and see where the line lands by the time we get the Big Six picks on Friday. But we'll see about that. Here's a
Go
game.
Tigers. If I was agree with you, I would definitely say go Tigers.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? A little hint of what things to come there. Here's a game I really like this weekend. I'm going to be on this one. I'm going to be on the money line. They are going to be one of my dogs this week. You got to give me Syracuse getting 2 points at BC. Guys, just look at the schedule. Cuse has played some teams. They beat some good teams. They got caught in one game where McCord threw 5 picks. They got caught against Pitt and got blown out. But they have beat some good football teams, and BC has come back down to earth. I'm going to be on Cuse this weekend, man.
Well, we should make like a head-to-head or, battle you versus me in these games because I like BC. I give me the home team -1.5. Like Syracuse is fine. BC's also fine. I just think it's like this is something where BC scores a touchdown in the end to win by 7. Like these two teams are Spider-Man meme teams. They're just to me the same team. So in that sort of case, I want to take the home team.
Yeah, I just don't see BC winning in a shootout against a UNLV or something like that. You know what I mean? I think Cuse is a little better football team. I think they're better than they look, man. I'm going to be on Cuse on this one, especially on the money line this weekend. Listen, we're going to get to the ULM report in when we get the Big Six picks, no doubt. But we'll talk about this game for a second here. The disrespect continues. I mean, 10-point dogs last week at Marshall cover. This week, Texas State coming to ULM. And again, ULM is 7.5-point dogs here. I'm like, you're going to have to give me that. And I'm going to be teasing that as well. You're going to have to give me the Warhawks this weekend in the points.
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's a touchdown, right?
Yeah. They've got a really good defense, man. I'll be on ULM for sure.
I like Kansas +2.5, +3. Like Kansas money line at home against Iowa State.
I'm going Oppo on that. I'm going to buy the half point. I'm going to be Iowa State laying the 2.5. Listen, they had their game where they got beat. Texas Tech caught them. Kansas ain't catching them. They'll be ready to go in this one. Kansas just not very good this year, right? Top 25 to start the season.
Good coach, yeah, good coach. But they also got Iowa State should have been caught the last few weeks, and they've been lucky. And I just think kind of the tape's out on Iowa State a little bit, and they haven't. I just don't. They're not going to make the playoffs. This is the game that kind of puts the nail in the coffin for me. Kansas also played some good teams. Kansas played some good teams. They're not playing nobodies. Ultimately.
Yeah, yeah. I just I don't have any faith in them at all. And talking coaching staffs, give me Iowa State. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like a few years ago, that guy probably should have, but had the opportunity to jump to some Power Five big time programs.
for sure.
And I think he would have been very successful had he done that. He's got that Iowa State, like Iowa State. Come on, man! But every year, it's really competitive. I'm taking Iowa State in that game. Let me throw this one at you, Andy. Army minus 5.5 at North Texas. What's the deal with this line?
Well, North Texas can score, right? They can put up a lot of points, and I think, I think Army's a little better, but I think it's like, you know, what's going to happen if North Texas, gets some points early. That I think is the fear. I think if they score early.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the fear, but I think a lot of times that's the most considered variable in the equation when two teams like this meet, and nobody discusses it from the point of view of it's frustrating as shit to a team like North Texas that wants to roll, 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 roll when they don't touch the ball for 8 minutes. You know what I mean? Like there's a flip side to that coin. Army takes one long drive and scores, and then North Texas is a little out of rhythm. I saw it live when ULM played against James Madison. You know what I mean? Then North Texas gets out there and one guy drops a ball. Now you got a 3-and-out. Army's got another 7-minute drive, and you're befuddled. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah,
gonna roll with Army.
I'm gonna roll with the home dog on that one. This team just puts up way too many points, right? Like you get a
They
couple
do score.
army stops, and then if it's 7-21-0, 21-7, like I don't like that for Army. I don't
No,
like
if they get down like that, you're in trouble. You're in
right.
trouble.
So
You're in
I
trouble.
just rather take the home dog for me.
All right.
Uh,
Okay.
I got one for you here. I just saw it. Oh, it's because it comes right after that. I like Virginia Tech plus 6.5, plus 7 at home against Clemson.
Yeah, that's a game that is a quagmire. I think for me, I would be on your side, but I think I'm just going to stay away because I really was on Virginia Tech big last week. I thought they were good. They dump. They're up huge. Well, I mean, not huge, but they're up a couple scores late in that game, go to overtime and lose. I'm like, I didn't like that, man. So I don't know. This is two teams that you know how I get when it's two teams that I don't know who either one of you are, who shows up
Right.
every week. So that is ultimately gambling, but I'd be with you to take Virginia Tech on that. Clemson looking like they're struggling. I'll probably stay away.
Mm-hmm. How about there's
Yeah.
another one. I like this one. It's a kind of a spot play. We just saw a big win at home against Texas A&M, and now they travel to Vandy, and Vandy's
Yes.
a 3.5 point dog, and I like Vandy.
Yeah. This is one of those ones where I'm just going to buy the points and take South Carolina. I just think they're a better football team.
Mm-hmm.
This is a spot where Vandy could win, but I don't know, man. I'm kicking myself for not taking South Carolina on more money lines last week. I should have. I didn't. They've only lost to power teams, man. Power teams.
Right.
I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna take South Carolina. I'll probably buy it down to 2.5 and have it on a parlay for sure. But
It's
this
another
is
head-to-head for us.
yeah, man, another head to head right there because Vandy, good football team. Good football team. Can they keep dancing though? You know.
Right.
How about Arizona State laying 3 at UCF? Arizona State, another team that is, I think, does not get the credit for how good they are.
Right.
I mean, they blasted Okie State last week,
They did.
blasted them. I think they go in and handle their business here. I'm going to be on Arizona State. They can run the football.
Well, they're at home. So
Yeah, they're at
UCF.
home against UCF, right? What I
Yeah.
say, they run. No, they're at
Yeah.
home. Yeah, this is a home game minus the 3. Give me this one all day.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like, I like it's a field goal, under a field goal. If it gets up to like 3.5, 4, then I'll probably switch to UCF. But for now, Arizona State.
Yeah, and take Scattaboo on over whatever rushing yards that they're going to put
Right.
up for him in this game. He's going to do. He'll go over them for sure. We're going to skip LSU Bama. We already kind of teased it a little bit. We're going to skip this Texas Tech Colorado game. That is for the Big Six picks there, guys. Pitt minus 6.5 at home to Virginia. Don't you think the spread would be a little higher if they just didn't get destroyed last week by SMU?
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure. It's
which leads me to want to take it.
Well, now it's up to 7.5. I see on mine. It's a 7.5.
Well, I'm not
So,
going over 7. I'm not going over 7. If
nah,
I can get it at 6.5, I'll probably play this thing, but I'm not going over 7. No.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
So what? And already money coming in.
Missouri +3 at home against Oklahoma. You got to see who the quarterback is in
Yeah,
that one. If it's Cook,
yeah,
I'll take Missouri. If it's not Cook, if it's Prine or whatever his name is, the guy who's been at Notre Dame and Arizona State. I can't think of his name. He's terrible.
yeah.
Oh, my point is
Yeah,
he's terrible.
not good.
I would not back Missouri if he's the starting quarterback.
Yeah, maybe on a teaser. I mean, give me a 10-point swing there, but
But you
no,
got to
I'm
get
with
the
you.
quarterback. You got to give me Cook. You
Yeah,
know,
and with not even knowing who's playing in that game, I'm not even taking them as one of my dogs this week, man. Kinda
no,
kinda out on them, man. Kinda
you
out
got to
on them.
wait till the last minute on that bet.
Yeah, yeah. Here, I'll give you another high point spread that I like this weekend is UNLV laying 13.5 at Hawaii. You can keep that thing under 14. I'll jump that. I'll jump that. I mean,
I got
Hawaii, not that good.
yeah. No, they're not that good. I'm always still though traveling to the island is like it's hard, right? So like even from even from Vegas, it's like a 5 hour time difference. So
Yeah,
it's like it makes me nervous. It
yeah.
makes
Bit
me
of a
nervous.
time difference. Bit of a time
Yeah.
difference there, but
So
I'll probably
also the
be on you.
UNLV
I'll
just
definitely got a
lost.
teaser.
They lost to Boise State. Next season's over basically for the playoffs. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
close game.
It's that's a be careful kind of trappy smell to it.
Yeah, could be, man.
Here's a trappy one that I like as a dog. Your nighttime
I know
traps.
what you're gonna say before
Straight
you
up
even say
win.
it.
I think it's a straight up give me on the money line. I think this is the game that Coach Whittingham gets it going.
I
Uh,
knew it.
and I'm going to take Utah +4. I'm going to take the money line.
No way. No way. I wish I had the drop. I'm working on these new drops, and one of them is you saying, no way, no way. This is the holy war. You've been saying it yourself all year. This Utah team is no good. The quarterback is no good. This BYU team is for real. No way. I'm taking BYU all day in this one.
There's going to be some losses. BYU is a little overrated. And if the one game I can see BYU getting caught here, it's this one. And
I'm saying no way. They're going to be fired up for this holy war game, and they're going to catch a Utah team that is not good. I think Whittingham's a phenomenal coach. You know that. You know that. He's one of my favorites. No chance. I'm on BYU here. I think BYU covers it. And for sure, if this thing stays at 4, I'll get it down to 2.5, put it on something. There, no way. I'm taking BYU in this one. Let's move on to the money line dogs real quick before we hit some teasers, Andy, unless you got another game.
no, that's good.
Okay, so moneyline dogs. One of them I'm going to have to leave out here because we're going to cover it in the Big Six picks. It's a game that's taking place in the Big 12 out west, somewhere around Denverish area, probably I think like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the dog in that one, straight up money line. Listen, I already told you, give me Cuse. I'm taking Cuse over BC, dog on the money line, and I'm going to roll LSU Bama. I already spilled that. I'm going to roll LSU Bama.
Yeah, I like that. So I would for me, I would be on Kansas. And if I was doing like a round robin, Kansas would definitely be in there. I'm clearly going to go Utah.
Yeah,
I would also follow you on that game out in Colorado. I would do that one as well. And Vandy. I think those are like 4 or 5 beautiful opportunities for you.
Vandy could be a good pay. Vandy could be a good payday against South Carolina. That one scares me a little bit though. But those are the 3 dogs we're going to roll with. And guys, the money line dogs right now, we're handing you anywhere from 3 to 5 every week. And right now we're at 19 and 11. Andy, money line dogs, that's really good. That's
pretty good.
really good, dude. Yeah, 19 and 11 right now. So there you go on that. All right, let's run our quick teasers in the NCAA. Here's the deal. I'm going to throw them at you, and you tell me, do you like it or not? Okay, I got 15 of them this week. 15 of them, and I'll bet you we clip in at about 12 or 13. So just get your damn parlays right. Okay. Indiana -7 at Michigan.
Yeah, right now it's going up to it's like 14.5. I'm just saying, like, I like it at -7 more than like 7.5. But yeah,
sure. Tennessee -17, Mississippi State. Mississippi State, terrible. I would not bet on Tennessee this year. I can't.
But I hate Tennessee. I
Me
like you're
too.
asking me Tennessee to like, ugh, that one makes me nervous.
It screams of the game where like they start housing somebody and feeling good about themselves. You know what I mean? They're that team.
Yeah.
You ain't beat nobody good and you get shut down. But when you play a scrub team, you'll roll it up. I think that's what they're going to do. Give me Penn State -6 at home to Washington.
I mean, I guess I'm nervous about Penn State as well.
Under a touchdown, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that. LSU +10 at Bama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pitt in a pick 'em against Virginia.
Yeah.
Yep. UNLV -6.5 at Hawaii.
Terrifying to me, but okay.
Okay.
That's the 3 I'm terrified of.
All right. I'm going to give you a little line crosser.
Oh, no.
BYU +3 at Utah. If they lose this game, it's going to be by a field goal. This is going to be a field goal game, man. If
no, hate it.
Okay, he hates it.
Give me Utah +10.
You're hating most of these. All right, let's go. Boise State -17 in Nevada. Yeah,
sure.
They're blowing people out, and on purpose. They know they have to, and they're doing it. We already discussed it. Give me Missouri +9.5 or 10 against Oklahoma.
Make sure it's the right quarterback. Just make sure it's the right
quarterback. Right. Texas Tech +10.5 at Colorado. Yes.
Yeah. Let me check.
Yeah. Ole Miss +9.5 to 10 at Georgia.
Yep.
ULM +14 to Texas State. Yeah. Syracuse +9 at BC. Yeah. BC's not hammering them. Florida +28.5 at Texas.
I love it.
Love it. And I'll give me Miami -4 to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Okay. So more so than most weeks here. You're only on about maybe 60% of these. You didn't like a lot of them this week. Okay.
There's 4 of them I had some concern. It was like 4 of the first 6. I was like, I don't like this one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, that's how we like it, though, man. That's how we like it. A little variety in that thing, man. Yeah. But hey, choose them, put them together how you guys like, man. Put your parlays together. Just get them right. But that's the tough part.
Put the bad ones with the bad ones and the good ones with the good ones.
Yeah. Just grab a couple that you're like, I like it. And don't feel the need to go, all right, one more. Just don't feel the need to do that. If you want to go just one more, play one more parlay and start a new one. You know what I mean? That's what you ought to do. Anyway, let's jump to the NFL here, Andy. Thursday night football, Bengals, Ravens. Now, the Bengals are +6 in this one. I think this one, Vegas has this line just about right. I don't think people are taking into consideration how well the Bengals play the Ravens every time. Overtime game last time they met. No matter how bad the Bengals are doing, they seem to have the Ravens number. I might be on this one at +6. I don't know. What do you think?
Thursday night, kind of favors the favorites a lot on these Thursday night games, but I think it's too many points. I think like the real problem is that the Ravens back door is always open with any team that can put together some points. So especially assuming T. Higgins is going to play. This is why he didn't play last week. They kind of got away with it, right, without him. So I assume he plays. I like the Bengals. I might probably play the Bengals money line, to be honest.
Yeah, that's absolutely going to be one of my money line teams this week for sure. I'm with you on that one. Money line and take the 6, man. It just smells of a game that you can get some good value there and make some money. Okay, let's go.
Game, by the way, probably take the over.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Probably. The way the Bengals are going to win, it's not going to be 17-14.
No, true.
It's going to be like 31-28. It's going to be the over is going to, I think, going to cash. But it's pretty high. That the real problem is it's like 53, which is incredibly high in pro football. So I just think I kind of have a feeling. My theory on the NFL is like these offensive and defensive weeks come in waves, and last week was an offensive week, in my opinion. I think another one is coming. I think another offensive week is coming. So your fantasy scores are going to be high. I'm going to take some more. I'm going to look harder, more overs. I just think the matchups are that way. So I think it starts off with 53, and I'm going to start it off with the over.
All right. Okay. Fair enough, man. I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. Let's jump to your boys, the Kansas City Chiefs. And again, like we talked about, the big spreads, laying 8 to Denver.
I'm going to take Denver. I mean, I'm just going to constantly bet against the Chiefs, and I'm going to don't. The difference between the Chiefs and the Ravens is the Ravens can score pretty quickly and have a better offense right now than the Chiefs. No, they're gonna blow out a team like the Broncos. The Chiefs are never gonna. Chiefs don't blow anybody out. I always say it's third year in a row. The Chiefs don't blow teams out at home. They're not
They
going to
don't.
win by 21 at home. They're not going to win by 28. So the last week I took the Bucks. This week I'll take the Broncos. And I'm always
Yeah.
betting the under. I'm always on the under in this game. I think the Chiefs defense keeps it under. So I mean
And
the
ball
over
control.
it hit last week too. The over hit in that Tampa Bay game. It hit before
Yeah.
overtime. But I was on the under in that one. I'm just, at the end of the year, Chiefs unders is going to be like 11-6, 12-5, 10-7. So I'll just keep riding the under.
The only thing that concerns me in this game here is Denver's ability to score against good defenses is non-existent. Non-existent. You get Tampa Bay coming in, Baker. They're one of the best offenses in the league. All the receivers are out. Baker's still playing at a high level. They can score points no matter who the defense is. Denver, I can't see them scoring a lot of points in this game. Like, this is one where I am thinking about taking Kansas City and maybe just getting this thing down a little bit. But I'm thinking about taking Kansas City in this one just because I highly doubt that Denver can put points on the board against that Kansas City defense. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, but also, you know what Tampa Bay has that, the Chiefs. Here's the thing when especially think about this in like fantasy football, the Chiefs lock up the running back. They lock up the number one running back. The Chiefs get killed at tight end. Killed.
Yeah.
Like Otten killed him. They get Bowers killed him. All these tight ends kill him. Whoever the Broncos tight end is, and I don't know it off the top of my head, should do well enough. The other thing the Broncos have is they have a couple running backs to throw at the Chiefs. Like they have Javonte Williams and they got that McLaughlin. They got that Esteen or whatever his name is, guys. Like they can throw multiple running backs to Kansas City. That tends to wear down the Chiefs a little more, like the Bucks did with Tucker and Irving and White. Like if you have multiple decent running backs, that is going to help you. I also, the back door is open a lot for me with Kansas City here. Like very similar to that Raiders game when they went to Vegas and they were up 14. The Raiders scored a terrible touchdown in the end to cover.
Late cover, bullshit cover. Yeah, maybe. Right now, I think I'm leaning toward being on that game. I'm going to be thinking about it. Here's one I'm guessing we're both going to love. Pittsburgh, 3-point dog to the Commanders.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Yeah, I gotta say it's nerve-wracking. Like
yeah, but it's DC scoring a lot of points, right? But up against Pittsburgh, I don't see them scoring a whole lot of points in this game. I think I see this thing being a knockdown, low-scoring affair, man. So you got listen. I'm going to bet Tomlin has a dog of 3 points or more. I'm taking Tomlin.
Right. That's the real trick, right? Tomlin
That's the rule.
The only problem is like Jaden Daniels and that they're very scary to bet against. Like they can put up points. They barely covered last week, but they didn't barely cover. It was one of those games like they kneeled down on like the Giants' 2-yard line. They could have dumped them by 12.
I kind of wanted them to score again, but they didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Pittsburgh here, especially on the teaser side of things, man.
I'm with you.
Vikings -4.5 to the Jags. I mean, this is a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna probably do it like I did the Packers, to be honest with you, which is that game when the Packers went to Jacksonville. I took the Jags, and they were like 3.5, 4, and so I'll probably ride again with the Jags at home.
I think I'm gonna ride with the Vikings from a locker room perspective of you've got a team that's competing in a division and they're trying to keep pace with a red hot team, and the Vikings trying to keep pace with the Lions, and the Vikings are a good football team, so they feel the urgency and the confidence. When urgency and confidence come together, they're going to play well this weekend. And the kicker for me is you're playing a team that is at the breaking point of a season. They're 2-7. This is the give up week. If this thing's the Vikings get up by like maybe 10 points in the third quarter, you're going to see the Jags be like, season's over. I mean, that's just where I'm at.
Right. Well, these home dogs, it's me. It's going to be very hard for me to get off these home dogs. So
sure,
like the Steelers home dog, I'll be on them like you. Jags 4.5. It's too many points. Even though my brain is telling me the Vikings are a touchdown better.
Yeah.
I just know I won't be able to get off it. So I'll be on the Jags, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll be on the Vikings there. Here's another game I'm going to be big on this weekend because I'm big on this team. and nobody's talking about them because it's way sexier for ESPN to talk about how bad the Cowboys are and how the Eagles are the only team that can play against the Lions right now in the NFC. My ass, the Atlanta Falcons are for real, and nobody's taking them for real. They're for real, man. This team, they are running the football. Kirk Cousins is getting better every single week. They're putting up points. They've already beat Tampa Bay twice. They're in the driver's seat for this division. They handled New Orleans this weekend, basically locked the division up. It's over. They've already beat the Bucs twice.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll have 2 over New Orleans or this. I mean, Carolina ain't going to give them a threat.
No.
They win this game this weekend. You can just about cash out that bet I told you to make before the season on them winning the division. I think the Falcons, their pass rush needs to get a little better. If their defense starts coming along, if Judon starts waking up from that injury, which happens most times to guys that come from season-ending injury, it's the second half of the next season where they finally start to get back in rhythm. You see Judon start coming on, rushing the passer, and the Falcons are a legitimate threat in the NFC. That's what I think. And you're going to tell me there are 3.5 points against the lowly Saints? I'm gonna be heavy on the Falcons this week. I'm gonna buy that point to 2.5 and probably go heavy on that game.
I love the Saints this weekend at +4.
Oh,
I love the Saints. I love it. I just think it's like the whole world is thinking like you are, which is like kind of a public side, which is like the Falcons are way better. We just saw the Saints lose to the Panthers. It's like it's a classic trap where it's like people are just walking right into it, being like Falcons win by 10. You know, like it's offensively they're way better. The Saints have no wide receivers. They suck. They just fired their coach.
Wouldn't the line normally be higher on that thought process, though, if that were?
They just fired their coach. You're going to go against the team that just fired their coach? Like, no way. Absolutely not. Give me dead cat bounce. Give me the Saints +4 at home in the division. It's not like this team, they don't know this team. They know the
division
team.
Game. Tough game, division game.
Give me the home division dog. Absolutely, all day.
Give
me the money line. Falcons haven't played anybody, right?
They're
like
rolling,
the last 4 weeks, they've played Tampa twice, Carolina.
Listen,
Dallas,
Tampa is good. Tampa is good. They may be 4-4 right now, but man, they beat the Lions. They damn near beat the Chiefs.
They're not good. They're not good.
That team's good. They're banged up hard, bro.
They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not good. It's just a fact. They went to Detroit, beat Detroit. Yeah, but the matchup was right for them, right? The matchup was right. That doesn't mean their matchup's right every week, right? So
I'm saying you don't lose both those starting wide receivers in Tampa Bay, and Baker's probably in the MVP talks at the end of the season.
Maybe, but
he was on fire and scoring points, and he's still scoring points with nobody.
Derek Carr and Kubiak after
fell off quickly,
but they were like the new Rams. So like for you to
for
be
2
like,
weeks, the Bucs are doing it every week, right? I mean, the Bucs are putting up their points every week. The defense is staying holding up, man. I don't. Bucs are that's a quality win.
The Bucs are bad. You're getting sucked into the public side with the Falcons, right? Where you like the Falcons they just destroy teams. Like they've played horrible teams.
I'm not focused on their scores, dude. I'm watching the games and I'm like, this team does everything well. They run the ball well. The play action's good. Their quarterback is really, really good and getting better. And the defense is slowly catching up the pace, man. And the NFC,
lost to any decent team they've lost to. They lost to the Chiefs. They lost
early on when they were struggling. Early on before Cousins got rolling, they lost.
They beat the Eagles. That's the one kind of wild victory to me. They beat the Eagles. But outside of that last time these two teams played in Atlanta, the final score was 26-24. The Atlanta kicker kicked like a 54-yarder to win it. Look, give me the Saints. I mean,
that was earlier in the season, yes?
That was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, when the Saints were like, oh, shit, Saints are for real. Not. I mean, so I don't know, man. I'm big on the Falcons. I like the Falcons in this one, but I'll tell you, I will also be playing the under of 46.5 in this game.
Get me on the Saints. Get me on the Saints money line.
Well, get me on that under. I'll tell you that. Take the under of 46.5 in this game for sure. I'm going to be jumping on that one for sure. That'll also be a tease for me to tease that thing up to 53.5. Take the under easily. Let's talk about the Bucs and the 49ers. I assume you're going to be on the 49ers to cover this 5.5 points because I'm not. I'm going to be on the Bucs and the points.
I think it depends who plays for me. Like, is McCaffrey going to play?
I don't know. Who knows? I mean,
if McCaffrey plays, then I'm going to probably take the 49ers.
If
But
McCaffrey
McCaffrey's got to
plays,
play.
that'd be different, but I don't even know how close he is, man. They're not
But
telling us that
if he doesn't play, then I'll swing over to Tampa.
yeah.
If McCaffrey, it depends. I think if McCaffrey plays, that line's going to go up too. So, this one I don't really have a super lean over here. It's a weird number, to be honest, but I'm kind of at San Francisco. But if it's McCaffrey, because then you're going to get me McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, Purdy.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that's a different story, but we don't know if that story will be told. Bills -4 at the Colts. I'm going to be on the Bills. I'm going to be on the Bills laying this 4. I don't think this spread's high enough. I mean, I'm be on the
I'm going to be on
Bills.
the
Like you
Colts.
said,
I'm going to be on the
Bills beat
Colts.
up on bad teams.
They do. They're kind of they're the team that goes in and beats up bad teams. But I think it's Bills are kind of playing these teams at desperation times, and they did it last week against Miami, where Miami was, I thought, definitely the worst team, but the desperation was much higher for Miami. They had to at least keep it close. I feel the same way about the Colts, kind of like playoff seasons on the line. I don't like this. I should I should take the Bills because I hate
Yeah.
the way this Flacco, Anthony Richardson thing's going. I think it's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
But
I think it's smart for Richardson, but you know what I mean?
I
Protect
hate
your
it.
investment. He's
The
on it. He's on.
investment's in trouble.
Yeah, but he's quickly. This is a guy without a lot of experience, correct? Now, if this was a kid who had a ton of experience coming in, I'd push him, play him, push him, play him. Let's have him learn. This is a kid who only started 8 games in college, and he's at a teetering point right now of being done mentally for good. Sit him for a minute. Sit him for a minute. Let him get his head right. Let him learn. Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
Daniel Jones, over 80 starts in the NFL. We've known he
Yeah.
sucked for 60 of those starts. Like,
Yeah.
let the kid play. Let him play. Let him play. It's their way.
I think you'll ruin him.
Then ruin him. But you're ruining him by sitting him.
That's not the point, though. When you
You're
draft him
ruining
that
him by
high.
sitting him, because now
Well, I don't know about that.
he's going to want to trade. It's like you've done a horrible job. To me, you've really done a bad job with your investment.
Well, at the end of the day, the bad job was overreaching on that draft pick, which we both discussed during that draft. And I told you, no way. No way. There's no way I'm spending a first round pick on a kid like that. I am not spending a top 5 pick on a quarterback who barely played it all in college with potential, Trey Lance. Not doing it ever if I'm a GM. Don't talk to me about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, don't even talk to me about it. No. It's never worked out. Ever. Give me one example. I mean, I just think it's bad business. I think it's bad business, but that's for another show. That's a DWMOD thing.
By the way, I'm on the Colts. I'm on the Colts.
All right.
I'm on the Colts. I'm on the Colts money line.
I think we're both on the same one.
I'm not on the Jags money line. I would just take the Jags.
You're gonna take the Colts money line. Okay.
Money line.
All right. I'll be on the Bills. I'll be on the Bills. I think we'll both be on the same one here, man. I always want to say San Diego, so I'm just gonna say the Bolts. The Bolts -7.5 to Tennessee. Yeah. Probably. Tennessee, not good. Just not good, man. I gotta take this. It's probably wrong, but I gotta take this, man. I'm with
you. This game,
Tennessee's only hope is to pound the ball, hold the ball, try to have their identity on the field. But the team across the field has the exact same identity, and it's real. It's not a mask. You know what I mean? So you gotta give me the Bolts in this one, man. You gotta. Eagles -7 to the Cowboys, same thing. Yeah, give me the Eagles right now. Cowboys suck.
They do suck.
They suck. And Dak's out. They suck. Give me the Eagles laying the 7. I'll buy the half point. Eagles -6.5. Give me $250 straight up on the Eagles, even in a teaser. I mean, I'm gonna be all over this Eagles game this weekend. Probably kill me, but I would be.
I'll probably be on the 7. I'd probably take Dallas.
Oof. No, man. Even though they
he started some games last year.
Yeah, fire up Chip.
He knows the offense. I think is Micah gonna play? That's to me a bigger key.
I don't know.
If he plays, then I like Dallas.
Tune into his podcast; he'll probably tell you. But I'm always rooting for Cooper Rush, man. Central Michigan Chippewa, there, man. Let's go, but not this weekend. Eagles. Yeah. I'm on the Eagles there, man. Here's a game I don't know if we're going to be different on, but I'm going to be where I'm at every single week. Give me the Lions laying 3. Give me the Lions. It might be a 3.5. I think it's moved up to 3.5. Guys, you can always control that. You can always control that. Move it down. Just move it down and bet on the Lions. Bet on the Lions. This is not the week for it. Andy made some very good points, and I think you're 100% right. When the Lions spreads start getting up like the Chiefs at 8 and 9 points, then we'll start looking at like, nah, they're probably not going to cover that. That's a lot of points in the NFL. When they're at 3 still and they're clicking the way they're clicking now, no. Give me the Lions in this one, and give me the over 48 in this game. What do you think about that?
I like the over, but I just gotta take the Texans, right? I mean, I just think like the number is going to go up. I think it's gonna hit 4, eventually to 4.5. We'll see if the Lions can stop mixing. That's going to be a key. And Stroud plays in these weird games. The Texans, they play in weird games where it's always like the score is like 32-30. You know, like this weird score.
They always oddly go for 2 or miss the extra point. You're right.
Right. Like 3.5 will be 4 will come into play.
That Jets game was burning me on that. I was like, what the fuck? How the hell did they get 5? You know,
right.
You know,
I mean, the Lions are the public team. I mean, I think everybody thinks, and they're not wrong. Lions probably the best team of football. Yeah. I think it's like everybody's on the Lions. I think the number goes up. I think for the rest of the year, truly, I'm going to be betting against the Lions. I love the Lions, but I just
it's from a gambling standpoint. Yeah, from a gambling standpoint, you guys listen to Andy. He's 100% right, just not this week.
I just
maybe
think
next week.
I think
it's got to get higher.
I think it starts. Yeah, I think it started last week, and you got to jump into it this week, and I think it's going to keep moving on.
All right, man. I don't know. Let's run through these teasers real quick in the NFL now. I'll throw you a bunch and you tell me what you think of them. Okay, I got 8 for you this week, guys. 8. All right, I'm telling you 6 of these are coming in. All right, here we go. Give me the New York Giants +1 against the Panthers. Yeah, I'm across the line there. I guess give me the Giants to win the game.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to tell you're not going to like this, but I think I haven't done it in a long time, but I got about 3 line crossers in my NFL this week. That's one of them. Giants +1, but that's basically you're saying to pick them. And against the Panthers, I think to pick them. And it's in Germany and shit. Just give me the Giants. Kansas City -2 to Denver.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, right? Yeah. Pittsburgh +10 at home to DC, the Commanders. Love it. Loving that one. And also in that game, I'm also going to give you a teaser under 52.5.
Sure.
Sure, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my other line crosser. All right, because if the Saints are going to win this game, it's not going to be by 7. Give me Atlanta +3.5. You're giving me a field goal and a hook. Give me Atlanta +3.5, and also give me the under 53.5.
No. Why? How are you getting 3.5? It's 4. How did you get you?
Well, when I made my sheet here, I'm doing a 7-point teaser, and it was at 3.5 this morning. So if it's moved to 4, it's just got different on me. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, if it's moved to 4, I'm not going to go to +2.5. But maybe it's a pick 'em. I'll stick with it. Fuck it. I'll stick with it. Falcons on a pick 'em, but give me the under 53.5.
No.
You think that game goes over?
I have no idea on that. I'm just saying that I hate the teasing the Falcons across.
Okay, at 3.5, I'm doing it for sure. Bucks +12.5 at the 49ers.
No, they're in Tampa, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, right. No, it's at. Sure. I think it's at Frisco.
If it's at Frisco, we should be taking San Francisco by a 30. I think it's at Tampa.
Unless I wrote that down wrong, which it could be possible. Anyway, I'm not pulling it up quickly enough to give you the right answer on that.
I think it's at Tampa. 5.5 tells me Tampa. At Tampa.
Okay. Well, I'm listen. Bucks +12.5, and give me the over 43 in this game. That's a teaser now. Over 43. Yeah, give me that. Okay. Bills +3. There's a line crosser there. Bills +3 against Colts.
Why not just take the Colts +11?
Because I really think that the Bills might beat them by 20. I don't know.
No.
I'm going to take the Bills +3 in that game. And that's I haven't done it in a long time. I'm feeling it this weekend. It kind of just talked to me, it whispered to me this week. And I go, just do it. Okay. You know what I mean? But also the same thing that happens to an alcoholic's been on the wagon for a long time. So, tread lightly.
Yeah.
It's a great analogy. All right. Give me the Eagles in a pick 'em against the Cowboys.
Sure.
And give me over 35.
Probably. I mean, the scary part is that the Eagles I think only scored once in the first quarter. Sometimes it takes the Eagles a while to get moving. No idea what Dallas offense is going to look like. No idea, ultimately.
Yeah. Yeah. Over 35 is like right on the cusp there, but I think I might do
Probably.
that. Yeah. So, I got one more line crosser for you. I'm sorry, I lied to you. I'm going to take the Lions at plus 3.5 at Texas. That game is at 3.5. You take 7-point teaser. Your Lions plus 3.5, and I'm going to go over 41.5.
I like the over. I mean, I can deal with the plus 3.5 for the Lions. I don't think the Lions are going to get beat by 10, for example. They're going to lose. They're going to lose by 3. So, but I would just go on the other side and just give me Texans 10.5. But
Not against Detroit, though, man. You don't know. They could come out this weekend and hang 50 on the Texans. You just don't know with that team. I can't do that. I can't do it. Here's the last one I'm going to give you, and it's just a teaser. Rams, Dolphins, plus 43. The over-under. Give me over 43.
By the way, you should tease, in my opinion, whoever the dog is in that game. I think it's the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, but
tease
1.
the Dolphins up to 7. I would also tease, I would tease the Bears down to a pick 'em against the Pats. Like, I think it's too many points. The Pats plus 6. I think it's too many points, but I think that Bears defense is pretty good, and I think it's going to kind of get on the Pats, similar to what kind of the Titans defense. I think the Bears defense is better than the Titans defense. So I think that game is similar.
Meanwhile, in Chicago, the experiment of can't miss Caleb, the quarterback to come into the league with the most weapons and the greatest defense in the history of the league, can't miss Caleb, is not looking good.
He's doing okay. It's just, I think the coach is kind of rough. I think the team seems to be a little
Eberflus is not coaching well this year, man. There's no doubt about that.
He's gonna have to go. He should have been fired last year. They should, now
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the scary part if you're the Bears. To me, the scary part if you're a Bears fan is like you don't want Kingsbury to come in. I kind of think they're gonna want Kingsbury to come in. But you get a guy like Vrabel in there, that would be a difference maker for the Bears.
Yeah, I'll agree with you 100% on this. If you're the Bears, you want a situation that's anti-NFL right now. You want to go with a defensive head coach to be in charge of that defense and bring in an offensive coordinator like Kingsbury to get that offensive going.
Right.
I agree with you 100%, but that's so anti-NFL right now, right?
Right. I think they're, fire Eberflus. Like the Bears team just, the problem is like the Bears team's fine. They're not the playoff team. They're gonna win like 7 games, 8 games, and they'll be okay. They'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, not going well, and I am enjoying it. I hate the Bears. I hate the Bears.
They're not going to make the playoffs for sure.
All right, let's go money line.
I would definitely tease them. I would tease them down to a pick 'em.
Okay. All right. I'll probably stay away from it just because I've bet them a couple of times this year and got burned every goddamn time. Let's go money line. Here's my money line teams for the week. I'm going to roll Bengals money line. I'm going to roll Pittsburgh money line. I'm going to take the Bucks money line out against the Niners unless we find out McCaffrey and the whole crew are playing. If it's the regular banged up Niners, I'm going to take the Bucks money line. Atlanta on the money line, Lions on the money line, Rams on the money line. You got any teams you're loving on the money line?
Yeah, I would probably take. I mean, if I'm doing like a round robin, I'm like Bengals, Colts, Jags, Saints. I like those teams for sure. If I'm doing like, give me a Bears, Chargers, Philly money line. Give me, probably give me a Rams money line.
I really like the Rams money line this week. I'm telling you again, though, that's a team for me. And you guys know from listening to the show, I'm big on that team right now, getting healthy and going on a run. A big win last week at Seattle. I think they handled their business against the Dolphins, and now they're on the winning side of things and 1 game back at Arizona in the division. I like the Rams.
I'd probably take Texans in a round robin. I think you have to. So, like, you have to look at like Texans, Saints, Jags type of thing. I mean, the Lions aren't going to go 15-1, right? They're not going to do it. So it's like where are their losses, where are their schedule losses, and you don't pick 2 or 3, and they end up at like 13-4, 14-3. They're going to be around that area. So it's like, to me, this is a possibility. This is one of the teams that has a possible chance.
Yeah, I think there's maybe 2 losses the rest of the way, and I'm just going to say, for an assumption and a gambling standpoint, I would say that one of them might be the Green Bay rematch if Green Bay gets healthy. We take them for granted, blah, blah, blah. It's just one of those division rivals, and they're good. That's a game where I'd be like, okay, I could see maybe a slip up there. I doubt it, but I don't see the Texans being that other team, no. Maybe end of the year Niners completely healthy. We go to the Niners with 2 weeks left.
Right.
Maybe that game, not this
That
one.
to me, it's like this one, Niners, and then you could pick maybe one more, random game, whether it's the Bills or the Vikings or the Packers. One of those three possibly they could lose, but I don't know which one. So I think this is it's kind of a trap. I just think it's a trap game for the Lions a little bit. But maybe they'll keep it rolling and get to 16-1. But
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes this weekend. All right, guys. That's about it for the picks this week. But I'm going to tell you, Andy, I think we went a little bit heavy. We got a lot of games we like. We gave you a lot of games this week. Now, guys, just remember the objective here is not to bet every damn game we're telling you. It's to listen to the things we're saying. We're watching these teams extensively. We're paying attention every week, which is what the show's about, because you can't do that. When you're gambling and you're just picking teams off of like, oh, yeah, that team's always pretty good every year. That's not a good way to be gambling. You need to be dialed into what the team is this year. That's what the show's about. We're dialed in. We're paying attention. We're watching. And, these are pretty expert opinions on this kind of stuff, man, but it's just opinions. Pick your parlays wisely and don't try to go for these 5-6 teamers, man, right?
yeah, if you're gonna parlay 2 teams, 3 at max, really,
Right.
that
Right.
sort of thing.
I on the weekend, I will maybe for fun play like 3 5-teamers, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, and those are just $5 for fun. But I'm putting together all my other ones where I'm going to make my money. I'm putting those together first. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then have a little bit of fun. Then I'll do a big teaser or something like that. But anyway, point being, guys, take them, put together, get your parlays, tune in every week, every Wednesday night. It's all right. Bet on DWMOD. Me and Andy St. Clair handing you out some cash. And we'll see you next time. It's time for another episode of All Right Bet.
Bye.
Yeah, there you go. It's time for another.